He asked me to read the same book 3 times before he fell asleep.
Yeah, reading always makes him feel safe. You think he knew you had such an awful day?
I think he knew how much I need him. I didn't tell him, you know, the kind of danger I was in. He's too young for that. He knows I asked him for an awful lot of hugs. Oh, thanks for telling the cops to go ahead.
Oh, no, they're still here. Wouldn't leave. Went out to the squad car, but they said, take your time. They'd wait. Direct orders, apparently. But, the look on their faces, Carly, when they talked about you. What happened tonight?
Julia happened.
But she's in the psych ward.
No, she's not anymore. And after her escape, she made a detour to a pawn shop. Picked up a loaded .45.
She held a gun on you? You know, it was weird today because the guy who testified in court, he was also from the psych ward. He said that he planted the bomb.
Yes. Julia's new best friend.
Yeah, but he was so crazy, no one knew what to believe.
Nobody knew quite how whacked out Julia was.
To come to your house, why?
She blamed me for taking Jack away from her. And in her warped mind, that was reason enough to...
The gun wasn't just for show, was it, Carly? Did she try to kill you?
She came pretty close, too. You know what this means, don't you?
Yes, but, I really don't want to think about it right now.
To think about it, Jennifer. It was me Julia was after at the boathouse, not your mother. She thought that I was meeting Jack there, so she asked her bomb friend to set a trap for us. It was just a terrible mistake.
And I was so sure that it was Craig.
Everybody was.
So that photo in the courthouse.
Pictures don't always tell the whole story. And people aren't always what they seem. Everybody thought Julia was a saint, right? Well, she's not. I am not the whore of Babylon, and Craig is definitely not the devil incarnate.
Well, I still hate him.
I think you're gonna have to do something about that, considering you're sleeping with his son.
Well, about that, that hasn't exactly happened yet.
Would you like to talk?
I wouldn't mind, actually. But you've just went through so much tonight, and I don't know, my timing kind of stinks.
It would be good for me to talk about something else. What's on your mind?
Bryant. Every time we feel close enough to,
Yeah.
Yeah, every time something new comes up or goes wrong, like our parents.
Oh, but who's thinking about their parents in the heat of the moment? Yeah, no, okay, I think I know what you're saying. So every time you feel close enough, safe enough to share yourself with him, for some reason, it doesn't happen. Are you sure you're not looking for a reason for it not to happen?
Well, I wouldn't have to look that far. It's not like the atmosphere has been very romantic the last few months. My mom throws away a great family because she thinks she found the love of her life, and then Craig humiliates her.
That's over, Jen.
And tonight, when we found that Craig didn't plant the bomb, I watched Bryant walk right up to him and give him a hug.
It's his dad.
Yeah, but how can he forget all the other heinous things that man has done?
I don't know. I'll tell you this. If you're looking for some rational explanation before you can cozy up to the man you love, well, you're going to be very old, very lonely, very miserable. Jen, everybody's nuts, especially when it comes to their families. So here's what you do. You just figure out what you need and what you want, and you go for it, and you get it, and you stop worrying about everybody else. You take care of yourself. Speaking of which, I think I better go and see what condition my apartment is in.
Carly. Carly. And, about love, you didn't say anything about love.
I'm sorry, Jen. I'm beginning to think love is highly overrated.
Wait, now back up. What would Julia have to gain from destroying that horse?
She knew that Carly could sell that horse and make millions.
And Julia couldn't stand the thought of Carly having anything.
No, of course not. But then Carly wouldn't have to depend on Craig's generosity. She'd be free to be with me.
You had a stake in that horse. How come you're not crying for a lawsuit right now?
Carly told me Julia was responsible.
And you didn't say anything? What kind of a crazy move is that?
Carly asked me not to.
Why?
Jack?
I asked Carly to keep it a secret. I should have known she'd go running to you.
Well, Jack, she had to do something. She didn't have a penny to her name. So your wife poisons a horse in Carly's financial future, and Carly is the bad
You
guy?
stole Carly's financial future when you took her insurance money to save your own sorry
You
butt.
can go for counseling later. Does somebody want to tell me why Julia was not taken into custody for
What
this?
good would jail do her, Hal? She needed psychiatric help. I thought I was doing what was best for her.
Led me to believe that Montgomery killed that horse. That it was part of a pattern. If I'd had that piece of the puzzle, do you know how many things might not have happened?
Well, I've been counting them up.
Carly wouldn't have nearly been killed.
Wait.
And Barbara.
Not make it worse. Not make it worse, Hal. Stop.
I'm not trying to defend what I did, Hal.
Good, you can't.
And you didn't say anything. What about that, Craig? You didn't say anything. And you knew.
Nobody knew that Julia was as bad off as she was. Hindsight is 20/20.
Were the seeds there? Hal, sure. Now it's easy to say that, but then every little crazy thing she did, it seemed explainable. She lost a baby. And it was as if, I don't know, I'm no doctor, but it was as if it had drove her into some kind of full-blown psychosis.
Police work 101, Jack. Things snowballed. You stopped them before they do.
I thought I was taking care of it, Hal. That's why I got her to commit herself. So I thought she wasn't going to hurt anybody anymore.
Making me the bad guy made it a lot easier to swallow, wasn't it? Listen, Hal. Carly owes you her life, and I owe you too.
Jack saved Carly's life tonight, Craig.
But who kept looking for the truth, even though I may not be his favorite person?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm still a cop, even when I'm not wearing a badge, but still, I'm not that civilized.
I owe you.
Internal Affairs is going to be asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, and when they do, I will tell them that you saved Carly Tenney from a brutal death.
Still, I think you should hold on to this.
No, I think we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Department can't afford to lose another good cop.
Julie's mom's going to need to know what happened.
Margo, need a word alone with you.
Oh, that's okay. I got another stop to make. I just wanted to thank you both for everything you did.
I think we've just crossed over into Twilight Zone territory here.
I think you're right. I haven't heard Craig say that many thank yous in one room my whole life. Do you want to talk to me about?
Owen Dever's testimony. I heard it. He was the one that Barbara saw at the boathouse that night.
Yeah. He's the one Jack said Barbara spoke to before the explosion.
Why don't you go ahead and say it, because I don't even want to think it.
Looks like Barbara lied on the stand when she said it was Craig that she saw in the boathouse before it blew up.
So what's going to happen to her now?